All right, all right. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for coming today to the Bluecloud workshop. And today I'm going to teach you the 4-step system I used to build $1 million app business and that many of our students have used to become successful and just to get an app into the store. So today I'm going to teach you everything you ever needed to know about the app business, especially if you're just getting started. And I'm also going to do an FAQ session and a workshop announcement at the end. This is all updated for 2017, guys. This is fresh information. So please stick around. It's worth your while. I think you'll get a lot out of this. So today, we're going to talk about a few things. And I just want to give you a quick agenda. First is how I went from zero, absolutely nothing, to having 1,500 apps in the store and doing 6 figures a month for many months. I also want to talk about the system that we used, why it works in 2017. It worked all of 2016 and it's just getting better for 2017. And I just want to show you, and I want to show you a lot of proof, and I want to show you exactly why it works. So stick around for that. And then I want to show you the 4 parts. I want to show you how to choose your right business model. And this is something that a lot of people, they don't even know that they need to think about this. And it's such a critical piece. I also want to show you how to get the right app idea. And the good part is it's a lot easier than you think. And it's something you could do today. You could go out and you could do this right after this workshop and make it happen. Step 3 is all about hiring developers without touching the code. And I also want to show you a turnkey solution that many people don't even know about that I've used, many of our students have used in 2016 to get profitable apps into the App Store. I'll show you exactly what we're doing. And finally, I want to show you, once you have an app in the store, how do you get these free downloads? How do you get people to download your app without having to pay an arm and a leg for it that actually turn into money so that you can take all this work and you now have a digital asset? And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that and the critical step that most people forget about that has made the biggest difference for so many people in our community. So if you don't know, my name is Carter. I've put over 1,500 apps into all 3 big app stores, iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon. I have over 18 million downloads. I think that's getting up to 19 or 20 now. Our blog, Bluecloud Solutions, or my blog, I should say, has about 3.7 million readers since it started a couple of years ago. We've had thousands of students. I've been a consultant and an investor in many top grossing app companies, some multi-million-dollar app companies. And I've also sold 5 app companies of my own. And I'm not saying this for anything other than I know what I'm talking about, all right? And I've spent a lot of time and I've spent a lot of money learning what doesn't work so that I can teach you what does work. You do not have to make the same mistakes I did. What's not here is all the mistakes and all the failures I made. I'll talk a little bit about what I learned, but I just want you to be totally upfront about this. I'm a regular guy. I lived in Maine for 10 years, which is a little state in northeastern America. And I just worked hard and I learned a lot and I failed a lot, but it's worked out so far. And my goal is to create as many new success stories as I possibly can. Now, for sticking around today, just as a bonus, I'm going to send you a 150 page free guide, I should say, all about the app business. So if nothing else, you're going to get a lot of information in this workshop. You're also going to get this free guide that you can take and you can go learn from and do what you want with it. You just got to stick around for the FAQ session at the end, and then we'll automatically send it. Okay? So that's just a quick bonus for staying around, and a big thank you from us. I would encourage you to take notes, even if you're not a real note taker type. Just if you have your phone out or have a piece of paper out, I would definitely encourage you to take some notes because there's a lot of stuff here, a lot of nuggets that you can just write down and you can do something about it today if you just have a reminder to do so. I would also encourage you to put your phone on airplane mode, turn off all distractions so that you can give this a good 45 minutes to an hour of your time. I think you'll get a lot out of this. And remember, there is an FAQ at the end that will answer a majority of your questions, and then it'll also give you the opportunity to ask us questions, which we'll get back to you very quickly. Now, I have to say this is very important. The results you see in here, this webinar, this workshop, are individual. Okay, I can't promise you that you are going to make millions of dollars. I just have to be very upfront about that. This has been our results. This has worked for us, has worked for many of our students, but this is just a system, and I believe in this system. That's why we're teaching it. This is a screenshot of one of my companies in 1 year. If you don't know, this is an IRS tax return, and what you see there is that $607,000, that's gross profit. Okay, that's not revenue. That's one of 5 companies that's making $607,000 a year. This stuff works. This is as close to proof as I think I could possibly get. Similarly, one of our students emailed this to me last year, early, in February last year, and just showed me that he's making about $194,000 a month using apps, using many parts of this system. It's pretty incredible. That number may be higher now based on the conversion rate and what he's doing, but this stuff is real. Like, this is a real deal. And what's cool is that this is just getting bigger. Right? If you look at the stats, the global app market is going to pass 220 billion downloads in 2016, and then it's projected to go up to 268 billion in 2017. I mean, this is serious. This is a huge business, right? And App Annie, which is a major data company in the app business, they also are talking about how the ad business, right, the advertisements that people show, are expected to deliver over $189 billion. Right, that's massive by 2020. I mean, that's an enormous market. That's bigger than some of the biggest markets you see out there. I mean, Netflix is a $50 or $60 billion company, and this is 3 times that. So it's a huge business. But I do want to, before we get ahead of ourselves, I want to be very clear. Like, this is not how it all started. I alluded to this earlier, and I am just a regular guy. I mean, back in 2010. This is a picture. This is me. I just quit my job at this corporate startup and it wasn't going anywhere. I was miserable. And this is what I would spend my afternoons and my nights doing, working with my buddy Malcolm, who is also, he was a consultant. He's a database guy. And this is just what my life looked like. I mean, there was no flashy cars. There was no big mansions. I wasn't traveling around the world. This is what it was. And it was very difficult. I was having a hard time just waking up and I couldn't get motivated. And I was just searching for something bigger in my life. And in 2011, I decided to take a chance. And so I built my first app. I should say I got my first app in the store by using a lot of what became the App Formula system. And I maxed out my credit cards. I spent all my money doing this project. I spent $13,000, which I didn't really have. And I got the app in the store. And I was convinced that this was going to be my big break. I had read so many books. I had seen so many videos. I had read so many blog posts that people just said, oh man, it can happen to you. It can go, just got to get in the game, make it happen, take action. And so this is me. I mean, this is like a Tuesday night, drinking a beer. I mean, it was late at night and I was just like, oh, this is going to be it. I can't wait. But the problem was it didn't happen that way. In fact, over the course of 6 months, I continued to release these apps and none of them were making me money. And you can see here, this is a check from ClickBank, which is an affiliate marketing network that I took 6 months later in May of the following year. And I took a picture of this because I was so proud of making $94. I was thinking to myself, yeah, like this is it. This is what I'm proud of at this point, $94 a month. Like, what am I doing? And throughout this process, I mean, I tried everything. It wasn't like I tried 1 or 2 things and I said, oh, the app business isn't going to work. I mean, I tried making my own app for my website. I tried, hiring someone and building it from scratch for this cocktail app. I tried taking a Fruit Ninja game and I learned all this random weird coding language. Even though I didn't know how to code, I still don't know how to code. And I just kept pushing things into the store and I had no idea what was working and nothing seemed to click. But here's the thing. I didn't know how to code. I still don't know how to code. I couldn't walk my way through Xcode if you asked me to. I had no idea where to start. I was just throwing things at the wall, losing all my money, and I didn't have any money to begin with. It was a really tough situation. And the hardest part was knowing, like, I could make this happen if I just knew what to do. If I just had someone walk in and say, Carter, follow this blueprint. This is what you need to do. I was willing to put in the work. I mean, I would stay up all night if you asked me to. I just didn't know what was right and what was wrong. And that was the hardest part. Now, the most frustrating part is that I was in the hottest market probably in history, at least like the hottest market I'd ever seen. And everybody else seemed to be making money. I was waking up and seeing these newsletters and these blog posts and these books and these movies of these guys who are just making tons of money, making these stupid apps and putting them in the App Store. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? Why are all these guys, or all these people, I should say, making all this money and doing so well, living their dreams? And I'm stuck here working 100 times harder and nothing's happening. I'm making no money. I'm seeing no results. What am I doing wrong? And there's a great quote. I remember from Albert Einstein said, the definition of insanity is repeating the same behaviors and expecting a different outcome. And this really hit me. One day I woke up and I opened up my computer and this is what I saw. And I asked myself, what the heck am I doing? Why am I trying to code this stuff from scratch? I don't even know how to code. What am I doing? Why am I trying to brute force this? And this also coincided with me reading The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. Many of you have probably read this book, and it really was a light bulb of, all right, I got to work smarter. I can't keep working this hard. I can't keep pushing myself against the wall. And so I started to do research, and all these other industries that I saw showed some clues. I looked through all these website companies and agencies. I looked at real estate developers. I looked at franchises. And what I realized quickly is that across all the businesses that I saw, the best models, the best business models were always around the idea of having a template. Meaning I could use an existing framework as my starting point, right? I didn't have to make up everything every single time. Every new project, every new idea didn't have to be 100% from scratch. I could start with something that was pre-built, that had a foundation. And this was a really big light bulb because doing this could totally change the way I worked. It would totally change my future. Now, this has worked for really profitable websites. Back when I was doing this, my other full-time job, I should say, was helping lawyers get websites up and into the store. And this was working really well. I would just get an app template. I would redesign it for them, and then I would charge them a premium. And it was working amazingly. I would never code it from scratch. And I thought to myself, why not just do this the same with apps? Why not do the exact same process? So, like many of you probably have done, I checked out some app builders, right? You guys have all seen these app builders on the web, and I went through them all, and it was just, they were inflexible. They gave me 3 options. They weren't very cool. You had to be in very specific markets if you want them to work. And at the end of the day, you're tied to their platform. You're using their product, their code. And while it was a little bit easier, it really just didn't give me anywhere to go. And I didn't like it at all. And so I went back to that 4-hour work week and I started thinking smarter. How do I use these templates, right? How do I think smarter? Because templates are a better way to do this. I've seen it in other businesses. I thought to myself, if I could just get one template, I could easily make another template that looks completely different, that caters to a whole different audience and marketplace. And the cost would be substantially lower. My risk would be lower because I know the app already works. I could get this done extremely fast because all I had to do was change the graphics and do some research. And it was flexible. I could customize this and it was mine. I could do whatever I want with this. This was the big light bulb for me. And when I reflect back and I look back at the apps that I did build custom and I hired these teams to make and manage them for months on end, it took forever. It was massively expensive and it was really high risk. I had no idea if they were going to work. But using templates, it was fast. There was very low cost and it was low risk. I had a very good idea of an app was going to perform well in the store because I could see the other apps that had done the same thing. And when you put these side by side, it's kind of a, oh yeah, obviously, why hadn't I thought of this? So obviously, I started using templates. And this is back in 2012. I would take one core source code, or a template, you should say, and I would So I started using templates, and I would take one core source code, or a template, I should say, and I would make multiple versions of it. And I would do this, and it started to do really well. And I had one app that went to the top of the charts that used one of the app formula theses. So I started using templates, and I would go find a source code or a template, which was way harder back then. And I would find one core foundation. I would make multiple versions, different designs, different research, niche markets. And a few of them started to do really well. It started to really explode by doing this. And you could see, these are screenshots from my accounts, and you could see the progress. I mean, things just started to spike. I was doing $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a day just on one ad network. This is way more money than I'd ever made before. And the kicker was I was spending substantially less money. Right? I was only spending $200 or $300 to get these apps in the store, and they could make me $400 or $500 a month. I mean, it was just unbelievable. And I eventually took this model and I sold a bunch of my apps. I sold about 100 apps for about $200,000 to a guy who manages a hedge fund. And so I said, okay, that was a great, end of 2012, great run, but maybe I should just keep doing this. And you can see I continued to do this exact same formula, this process for another 2 years. You can see it's March 2015 and things were still cranking. It was still doing really well, making hundreds, if not thousands of dollars per month for each of the companies that I had. So I was like, all right, this is obviously working. It's been working for years. I should start sharing this formula. And I wanted to see if other people could do the same thing, because that's when you really know you have something, is that if it's not just you, if other people can repeat your results, then you really have a system that works. So I started blogging. This is a screenshot from the old school Bluecloud website. This is the first mock-up I ever did in Photoshop. And then I started to share really powerful case studies that helped a lot of people. People would read these blog posts, and maybe many of you have seen these blog posts, and they would take this insight and they would start applying it. And these students started coming back to me and saying, dude, I'm getting some pretty amazing results by doing what you're talking about. I'm just reading your blog posts and doing them, and check out these results. This is amazing. And it was really cool. I mean, Hamid, he's a buddy of mine from San Francisco. He wrote me and said, hey, a lot changed since I learned about Bluecloud's templates and the formula. I can't program a line of code, and I went from having 0 apps to pulling in almost $20,000 a month. This dramatically improved my lifestyle and also paid for my last trip to Hawaii, which is like the best thing to hear because I love Hawaii. It's such an amazing place to go visit. And these are the kind of emails that I was getting. I was meeting people. They were emailing me, messaging me, and saying similar things. But the other side of the coin, which I'm sure many of you have been on, I've been in this position where I see all this success and I'm a skeptic. I'm like, all right, there's no way. Like, give me a break. What's the catch here, right? And I kept hearing the same responses from people. And there were all these failed beliefs about apps, right? People kept saying, yeah, well, they cost a lot of money. Like, you have to be geeky or you have to be technical because apps are complicated. Take a long time to get in the store. The app store is dead. This is done. And this is just assumptions they made, right? They just made this up in their mind. They believed it. And I kept saying, no, that things have changed. There is a better way to do this. You can work smarter. You don't have to keep thinking that it's so hard. And I started to send them. He said, look at these app template marketplaces. You can go and buy a template or a foundation or a source code for $5. I mean, you can get them for free if you want the open source ones. It's very, very inexpensive to get started to get an app store. So it does not cost a lot of money. You can get a project in the app store completely redesigned for under $100. Absolutely 100% feasible. Similarly, you do not need to be a tech geek. I cannot code. Most of the Bluecloud community cannot code. And when you don't have to code, you can hire somebody to do the coding. And then it becomes very simple. All you're doing is just moving the parts between different people and giving them some instructions that you can copy and paste to them. It does not need to be complicated whatsoever. It's just following steps and following a pattern. And apps take a long time to make. Well, that's the other thing. I think a lot of people have been burned by the app business, or they think they go and talk to some development agency and they say, oh, it's going to take you 5 months to get it done, and then you got to review it. But Apple has just made their turnaround time 1 day, right? So if you can go buy a template, get it redesigned in a week, you can have an app in the store making money in 14 days if you really hit the gas. It is completely realistic to do that. And so many people just don't even, they assume that they can't make that happen. And the reality is it's completely possible. And then the App Store is dead. I hear this all the time. And this is a screenshot from December 7th in 2016. I mean, this is recent. And Apple is still having the all-time record for sales, right? They didn't release an exact number yet, but they're doing over $1 billion a month. And then now in the holiday season, this is the biggest time of year for them, right? They think that they're projected to do $50 billion this year. This is so much bigger than it's ever been by an order of magnitude, and it's just going to double in the next few years to 2020. So the App Store is far from dead. The App Store is actually just exploding. It's just a matter of getting in there and riding that wave. And these beliefs are really what kept people from taking action. All this idea of, oh, it's so expensive, it takes forever, I can't do it, App Store is done. This is just people that they're just shooting themselves in the foot. And the kicker is that you can work smarter because templates solve so many of these problems because they take the guesswork out of it, right? There's no gray areas. It's black and white. It is follow this, you will see results. Do this, you get it in the store. It's cheaper than building a custom. I mean, it's a binary decision. And here's the thing. It all boils down to this. You find a core foundation that works, and then you add on to that. And really, this is pretty true for life too. When you think about it, it's so much better to just learn from people, learn from mentors to see what already works, and then you just add on to that. And this realization, the simple realization, I should say, it led to the 4-step process that changed everything for my business and for many others. And this is when you guys really want to start paying attention. So if you're checking Facebook or you got the audio on in the background, I would encourage you to stop and start watching this. This is the part where all the meat is, and this is the stuff that you can take away from this and make some real action and see results just with this info. So I would highly encourage you to check this out. All right, this is the 4-step system that I was talking about. Step 1, choosing your business model. Right? In the app business, there are 3 main business models, and this really comes down to the way you want to make your apps and get your apps in the store. Now, the first is all about the custom build. And when I say the custom build, this is when people are thinking about, oh man, I want to make the next Uber or Minecraft or Waze. These are all billion-dollar companies, right? Apps that just change everything. They're huge, right? They change the world. They've never been done before. There's nothing like it. I mean, we've all had these ideas. We've definitely talked to people that have had these ideas. But the problem is, especially if you're just starting off, if you're just a beginner, is this is very high risk. I'm not going to lie to you. You could potentially make the next Uber, but the chances are very low. And, that's a lot of risk to take. It's going to take months, if not years, to get an app like this built, and you have to have a huge budget. Now, if you have $1 million to spend or $500,000 to spend and you're retired, this is probably the way to go, because if it goes big, that's great. But for most of us, this is really difficult. And I do not recommend trying to build this from scratch. Right? It's not worth it, especially if you're just getting started and you don't know anything about apps. You're just like, what am I doing? Do not build an app from scratch. That's the best advice I can give you. I've tried it multiple times. Doesn't work. Now, second is customizing, but you emulate. All right? This is a little different, where you look at apps that are already in the store and you say, hey, look, I like that app, but I just want to, create my own version of this, right? I want to make the Uber for dog walking. Or I really want to make it look like the Slotomania casino game. And I can't find this template anywhere. So I want to build it, but I know what app I want it to look like. Okay? This is one step closer. I think many of us can also you've seen an app and you say, oh, this is cool, but I wish I could do this for the travel business or whatever. Now, the truth is, this still requires a ton of resources and money, right? And it still takes a long time. And it requires constant attention. You essentially become a project manager. And even if you have the app to show them, it doesn't mean it gets simpler or less expensive. It just means that they have a little bit of a roadmap that they can work from. But it doesn't solve the problems of the custom building. They still have to go from the ground up. The code is not there for them. So this is a little bit better than customizing, as you can imagine, but it's still not recommended. This is still a huge project, and it's still very expensive. And then finally, the third business model you can choose is template and improve. Now, this is the one I personally love, and I've seen this most successful across all businesses, especially in the app business. And this is when you look at apps as a business. You think about what's going to make my business successful over, oh, cool, I've got this cool product that is so hip and sweet and funny, and look at it going viral. You're more excited about cash flow and getting passive income and being able to travel wherever you want. That's what you care about. You don't really care how cool your product is. You just want something that works, right? What people want is more important than what you like, right? You take your ego out of it and you say, listen, I'm going to listen to the market. I'm going to give the market what it wants, and I'm going to follow the money, right? This allows you to start in a matter of days. Right? You can get started today if you wanted to with this business model. It's pennies on the dollar compared to those other two. And most of the coding is already done. You get the templates, you get the foundation. A lot of this is already done for you. Now, in 2016, this example was everywhere. I mean, this wasn't just indie developers repurposing small, simple apps. I mean, publicly traded companies, King.com, which many of you know, Candy Crush Saga, this is what they do, right? If you've ever played Candy Crush Saga and then you see their other games in their portfolio, it is 90% the same. They use the exact same code, but they just repurpose it for a new market. Okay, this is what everybody does. This is the top grossing games. Same with an app like 7-Minute Workouts. They have this, one of the top paid apps in the App Store they have for a few years. And then you can create a second app that uses almost virtually the same code, but now it's for yoga, right? I mean, this is what, like, you go through the App Store, you will see this is what almost every single successful app business has done. And then you look at an app like the Fatoji's app. This is one of our apps, and we do the same thing. We create a second version and then a third version, and all we're doing is changing the graphics. And these all make money. I'll show you some information about these in a little bit, about some of the results we've gotten. But I just want to show you that it doesn't matter if you're an indie developer or a top grossing app. This model works. Right? There's a reason why everyone's doing this. When you, like I said, you find a core foundation that works, and then you add on to that. Now, let me be really clear about something, because this is what a pushback I get a lot on. This is not spamming the App Store. I'm not saying find something and make 200 versions of it as fast as you can and flood the App Store with garbage. Okay, that does not, and it will not work. I want to be very clear about this. What this is all about, though, is starting with a foundation, something that is good and high quality and that works, improving upon that foundation, using a strategy, and giving users useful, great apps. That's what this is. It's just a better way to make this happen than building it from custom. Now, the best part of all this is that it's never been easier to start with a foundation. You guys are lucky, because there are hundreds and thousands of apps out there, foundations, templates, source codes that you can go find. And the kicker is, these are, like I said, I mean, this is what, $18, $15. You can get started for very, very cheap. And if you tried to build these from scratch, it would be a couple $1,000. And so it's really easy to go out. You can just go and purchase it in a matter of minutes. You can download the source code and you are ready. It comes with full documentation. And it's $20. You're in the game. And you start with smaller projects than top grossing apps, obviously. I'm not saying you want to go out and build the Candy Crush Saga yet, but you start with something small and you learn how this works. You spend $20, you get it redesigned for $50, you get it in the store, and then you learn from there and you improve upon it, and maybe you take on a bigger app. And no matter what size of your business, the principle is always the same. You find the foundation, you get that template, you improve it to make it better and unique, and then you match it with the right people. You put it in front of people that actually care about it. Okay, so step one summary. This is the nugget. This is what you want to write down. This is what you want to remember. Using templates and improving them, this is the best business model. And just a caveat, I've personally spent over $100,000, probably more when I really do the math, trying all of these. I've tried building it from scratch. I've tried building it from scratch, but modeling it off of something else. And I've tried the template thing. I've spent a lot of money, a lot of time. The template model works the best. This is just true. This is my experience. This has been my students' experience. This is the way to do it. Okay, does that make sense? Awesome. Now, the second step, the 4-step system, finding the right app idea. And this is a big one, because a lot of people, they think they have a good app idea, or they're wondering how to even get started if they don't have an app idea. And this is the best system for that. All right. The best app ideas solve problems that real people have. Let me say that again. The best app ideas solve problems real people have. All right. And here's the key. Everything you need is already available to you. So if you're thinking, oh, I got this cool app idea, or, oh, hey, I wonder what I should be doing, all you got to ask yourself is, are there people out there that have this problem, that this will actually help them solve their problem? And where do you go and find people talking about their problems? Well, the kicker is, you don't need to come up with all these ideas yourself. You don't need to meditate and go on a retreat to figure this out. It's just a process. It's a very easy process. Let me show it to you. The first step is you go into iTunes or into Google Play. Right? So just open up iTunes. You can do this on your phone. You can do this on your computer, or go to Google Play if that's the store you use. You click on the app's review tab. Right? We've all seen that. On the phone, it's the same. Step 3 is you go to all versions and then scroll down to the 2 to 3 star reviews. You can sort this by most helpful or most critical, and just scroll down to where it gets to the 2 and 3 star reviews. You can do this on any app that has reviews. And when you get to the 2 and 3 star reviews, you start to see some really cool things happen because people start to give a lot of feedback about what they didn't like or what they liked or what they wish it had. And they're very explicit. It's amazing how much free information people will give. And so you look through it, and that's why the 2 to 3 star reviews are so good, is because those are the people that tend to give the best information. And you start to tally up these requests. So if you get 5 people that say, oh man, I wish that this RV campgrounds had more pictures, you know that you can create an RV campgrounds app that has more pictures and people will buy it or they'll download it because you know that's what they're asking for, right? You have your new feature that you know you can just improve upon because people are asking for it. Now, obviously, the next step is you go to any app template store out there. You can go on Bluecloud, you can go on Code Canyon, you can go on Chupa Mobile, you can just Google app source code. You'll see plenty of these marketplaces, and you start to search for the template that is similar to the apps that you just reviewed. You buy that template and you get going. Now, here's the key, and this is something that a lot of people always ask me about too, is to say, oh, well, Carter, I can't find the template that I'm looking for. I can't find that camping app. What do I do now? This is a hack that has worked really well for me, and you could work really well for you too. If you can't find the template you're looking for, go on the App Store and find these apps that are all similar to what you want. Go to their support website, find their contact info, and just email them and say, hey, look, I like your app a lot. I would love to offer you $200 for a license on this, and see what they say. You'd be surprised at how many developers are totally down to license you their code because you're going to give them a couple $100. And remember, you don't have to be exact. It doesn't have to be the exact code you want. It just has to be close, because then all you have to do is modify that 10-20% that's different. And this is just a really good way. So even if you can't find it in a store, you can always email one of the 300,000 developers that are already published and just ask them if you can go straight to them. You'll find that this is actually one of the best ways to do it. This is how I found I would say majority of my best apps. All right. So the takeaway is that you're not actually coming up with ideas. You're just doing research and then giving people something they already want. And by doing this, it allows you to consistently create winning apps. You can imagine that you could really go down a rabbit hole with this, because now every app in the App Store is a goldmine of information, and you can just get on repeat. You'll be so amazed at what happens when you start to see all these ideas just being thrown at you, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is just money right here. Like, people just want this stuff. And once you have this idea, once you know that people want something, that's when you start getting into, all right, I'm going to get into the market research about these customers. I'm just going to get some inexpensive developers to help me put this together. I'm going to make a few improvements. I'm going to go put this in the App Store to get my downloads, and I'm going to start monetizing it, right? And this is all part of the system that the formula teaches you. So the step 2 summary is you just get ideas straight from the App Store, and you can build a winning and profitable app business. I think everybody watching this can understand where this is going, right? Like, everywhere in the store, every single app that has reviews is a goldmine of information. You can get so much. You can just extract free value out of the App Store. It's right there. There's no reason why you couldn't just do that tonight if you wanted to. All right. So quick review. Step 1 was choosing the right app business model. Step 2 was finding the right app ideas. Now, step 3, you've got the app idea. You know what template you want to use. Well, how do you get it in the store, right? What do you do? How do you get a developer to help you out? Especially if you don't know how to code, like me, or like most of our students, what do you do? Now, the kicker is you definitely do not need to know anything about coding to be in the app business. And in fact, if you don't know anything about coding, often that is very helpful, because then you don't get stuck working on code all the time. You actually focus on things like marketing and research and monetization, and you don't get hung up on all these details of coding. You can let someone else do that. So it's almost a benefit when you're not a coder, because then you become a business person. All right, this is a screenshot. Moyo is a great Bluecloud student, good friend of mine. This is a screenshot he sent me last year. He has absolutely no coding experience, and he was doing 250,000 downloads a month as of last January. So, I mean, it's totally possible. On a more immediate level, Alex, great guy, came to the Bluecloud San Francisco event. He's a music producer. He has no coding knowledge at all. He took the app formula. He took one of the templates we have in the app formula, and he got an app in the store. He never touched it one time. Similarly, Mukesh is another Bluecloud App Formula member, just got his first app in the store. Because he took the formula, he used our team, which I'll talk to you guys about shortly. Great learning experience, and he's starting to build a portfolio. Like, these people they have no coding experience, and they're not only getting apps in the store, but they have the ability to scale it up, right? So even if you just want to get going, or if you want to build a massive business, you do not know how to code. But the one thing you do need to know how to do is how to find great coders, and that's what I want to teach you how to do. If you don't know how to code, that's fine, but that's still part of the process. You still need to know how to do that. So here's the process for doing that. First, go to Upwork.com, okay? If you haven't been there, it's an outsourcing website. There's tons of amazing talent on there. You go and you create an account and you just explain your job, right? So you go to post job and you type in what kind of developer you're looking for or what kind of help you're looking to get. So, and if you don't even know, if you have no idea what you're looking for, who to hire, anything like that, you can just put up something like, I'm looking for a developer to help me out with an app template, and look through all the jobs that are already out there. You can browse jobs that people post. You can browse jobs that people have done in the past to get ideas on what's helpful. Or you can go to the person you bought the template from and ask them what sort of job requirements they need. What sort of coding does this person need to be able to do? Things like that. Once you post the job, you start messaging with them, right? And you go back and forth a few times just to get a sense. It's really important to start to message with your developers, and it's just to get a personality. It's not to like vet them on their coding skills. It's really just to say, hey, how you doing? Where you located? What's your communication preference? What have you worked on in the past? Do you have references? Things like that. It's really just to see if there's a rapport there. That's all you're doing. Now, once you do that, once you've found a couple of people that you get along with, that's when you start to do the practice job. This is really important. A lot of people skip this step, and it ends up costing them a lot of money down the road. So let's say this person says, I'll be able to do your job for $500. I would say, okay, great. I want to do a $25 job with you, and it's really simple. I want you to put this advertising, it's called an SDK, which is like a little piece of code that allows ads to show. I want you to take this and insert this into this template. That's all I want you to do, and I'll pay you $20 for it or $25 for it or whatever. And by doing this, you get to see their work style. You get to see how well you work together. And if that goes really well, then you have a very good idea that it's going to be a good relationship. You also learn who not to hire by going through this. And that's probably more important than finding the person who you want to hire without spending a lot of money. This is a crucial piece of the puzzle. And then next, you just hire your developer. You hire them for the job. Once you've gone through the test project, you send them a template you purchased with a list of your updates. You send them a template, say, here's what I want it to look like. You look through the research you did from the reviews from the step 2, and you say, here are the 3 features I want to integrate. Here's what I want it to look like. You send them that list, you work it out, and then they go to town. And then you tell your developer, hey, I want you to do this. Send me the app in a way that I can test it very easily without any coding. And I also want you to upload it to the App Store for me. And through your developer account, which we can teach you how to do, it takes 15 minutes to get a developer account in Apple or Google Play. And then the developer can just upload it straight for you. You never have to touch it. And all of a sudden, you've got an app. You've got an app in the store that's ready to go, that'll be out there making money, getting downloads. I mean, that's it. That's the process. It's a lot simpler than you think. And you just follow these steps, and you can just go through this over and over, and you can find some really amazing people that will produce really amazing results for you. Now, here's a kicker too. We have a team that can do all of this for you, right? This team Toad. And I will be very transparent. I do not get any commission for these guys. They just maintain all of our templates for our members. They keep all the code up to date and everything else. And we send them, new people, right? Because we know they're good. They're really good, inexpensive, and it's completely turnkey. They already know all the templates we have. They just give you a price sheet and say, hey, here you go for $200. We can get this app done in 2 weeks or whatever it may be. And so we have a whole team. So if you don't even want to go through Upwork, we have that available to you. It's only a couple $100 or even less than that if you have a simple project. Now, the key to all of this, the key to hiring a developer is there's a formula. If you don't know how to code, if you've never done this before, if you've never hired someone technical, that's totally okay. All you got to do is follow these steps, right? And even better is that once you follow the steps, there are copy and paste scripts that you can use that you can just paste in there and fill in the blanks, and it will get you really good developers or really good designers or really good anybody to apply back to your job. And we have a complete team that can do it all for you if you want. You see a screenshot here of Anush. She's a Bluecloud App Formula member. She says, I just want to give a shout out to Toad for doing such a great job on my first app. They were patient with all my newbie questions, and the final product is awesome. This was in November of 2016, right? So this is very recent, and it works. Now, the step 3 summary, hiring a developer requires no coding. You do not need to know how to code to hire someone who does. You just follow the system, follow the scripts, and you can get them to take on your project for you. All right? Now, step 4. We've picked our business model. We got our idea from the existing app business. We followed the system and the scripts to get an app to develop, or I should say a developer to develop our app and get it in the App Store for us so we never have to touch it. And then finally, how do we get downloads that turn into dollars? How do we start to build this business? Well, once you're published, which means once you are in the App Store, you need to optimize your marketing to get you downloads. This is not new stuff. In any business, you need to optimize your marketing and your products so that people find you and they like what you have to offer. But the thing is, most people look in the wrong places. They're not really sure what they should be doing to get downloads or optimize their app. Now, we've learned a lot of strategies, a lot of new strategies that can drive thousands of free downloads if you implement this all correctly. And the reason why is because Apple and Google, they consistently update their algorithm, right? They have these algorithms that determine how many downloads you get. They determine how you show up for search results. They determine how people see your apps when they click through to your apps. And they're always updating it, right? So one of the big mistakes, which I mentioned earlier, is that a lot of people, they get their head so deep in the sand about one particular method, they forget that there's a bigger step-by-step system that if they just followed these principles, they would have much bigger success. And the key to this is that they're not just downloads you're getting, they're people. And you'll be amazed at how many people forget this principle. They look at their game, their casino game, they look at their photo app, they look at their stickers app, whatever, and they put in the App Store, and all they're thinking about is, how do I get more downloads? What's the hack to get more downloads? How do I get thousands and thousands of downloads to my app? And they just think about the data. They forget that those are thousands of people making a decision on, should I download this app or not? Does this app match what I typed in for my search? And as soon as you start to treat them like people, you'll start to get a lot of downloads, and you'll also start to get a lot of really good downloads, people who actually care about using your app. And the bigger reward is that when the algorithms see you looking at the people and not just downloads, they start to give you a lot of free downloads. They start to give you a lot of people because they know that you are catering to the people that are searching for your product. So there's a 4-part system that we have I call the user-based algorithm marketing. What this really means is that you just focus on people and you don't focus on data, right? You think about who's going to be downloading it. You think about that person and you start to really cater to them so that they have an amazing experience. Now, the first step to this is go and find out who your customer avatar is. Customer avatar is kind of a fancy marketing word for who's your ideal customer, right? What do they look like? Maybe they're Jim, who's 45 and he lives in the Midwest United States and he has 2 dogs and he works in IT. Okay, what does Jim do on the weekends? What does Jim do for fun? What is Jim searching for on the web? And this is the step that so many people forget to do because it's relatively new. But you just go on Facebook, you look in the Facebook audience insights, and you can do the research about these people. And you can learn all about them. And you get this really great customer avatar. You give them a name, and then you focus all your marketing around them, okay? Second step is once you have your person, your gym, you go and you look and you find out what are they searching for on the App Store and what are they searching for on the web. You can go to places, there's tools out there. One's called Sensor Tower, sensortower.com. It's a great keyword research tool. You can also just go to Google Keyword Tool and start to find out what sort of keywords are these people typing in? What websites are they visiting? What Facebook pages are they going after? And you can learn all of that by Facebook Insights and by going on Sensor Tower and typing in what apps do they have, what competitors do you have. And the key on this is, just a little tip, the more niche the people are, the better. So instead of doing, oh, it's just Jim who's 45, you're saying Jim who's 45 who's really into archery, right? That's his hobby. He likes shooting bows and arrows on the weekends, and he's a competitive archer. All of a sudden, that niche is way better. That's much more specific than an average person. So the more specific you can get, the better. Now, the third step is using specific keywords from your research in the title and the keyword fields. So in your app, you have the ability, your developer just uploaded all the code and everything else. You can put in the keywords that Jim is searching for in the keyword field. You can also title your app to reflect the keywords. You can name your app and title it, and we have very clear nomenclature formulas that you can follow. Typically, we do 50% broad keywords, 50% specific keywords in the keyword field. If you're doing Google Play, they don't have a keyword field. All you do is you put the keywords in the title, and then you use keywords in the description, all right, and in your screenshots and things like that. And the fourth step is that you just create a high-quality icon and screenshots to match with these keywords, right? If Jim comes and he's really interested in camping and he sees a beautiful icon that looks like camping, he's going to be very likely to click on that and see what the app is all about. If he sees a first screenshot that really explains and shows why it's a great idea to download this app, the chances of him downloading it are a lot higher. Okay, so now that they typed in the keywords, they saw your app, you need to get them to click and look at your app page so that they'll start downloading it. And if you follow this 4-part system, right, find your ideal customer, go into Facebook Audience Insights and check it out. You find out what they're searching for on Sensor Tower, on Google Keyword Tool. You, in your app store page, you title your app and you put your keywords or your description so that you start appearing for those terms in the App Store for the algorithm. And then you design your app, specifically the icon and the screenshots, so that users decide to download it. Right? This is all thinking about that user. It's all thinking about the person who you would like to download your app. Right? It's very easy, very formulaic to do this. When this happens, the algorithm will say, oh, wow, people like this app and it's relevant. Right? Jim really likes this camping app because Jim's really interested in camping. We should probably give you a better search rank for this because it's obvious that people like Jim really enjoy using and finding your app. So they give you more free downloads, like they push you up the search results. And then similarly, the users, the Jims of the world, start to say, wow, this is exactly what I wanted. And it's specific to me. Like, I'm so glad I found this. This is exactly what I was looking for. So when Jim uses the app, he's a much better user. He cares more. He's more willing to use it multiple times and come back day after day and use it. And that's better for you. It's better for your retention, which means that people stick around, you make more money, and it eventually leads to a better algorithm ranking. So it's just always better when you think about the users as opposed to thinking about how many downloads can I get. You think about how many users can I get. That's the key. And this stuff works. I mean, Nick is a great guy. He took the Bluecloud formula, combining this one missing element along with the App Store optimization trainings from Bluecloud. I'm now ranked on the first page towards the top first page for 2 well-searched keywords inside Google Play. You know, this is just an example, one of many examples that we see posted in our group of people that apply this user-focused mentality and they get results. So the summary of step 4 of the 4-part system is that you just research your users, then identify the keywords based on the search intent, give people what they want. Right? Find out who the people are, find out what exactly they want, and then just give it to them. That's really all you're doing. You're not trying to find any crazy hacks. You're not trying to figure out any ways to game the system. What you're really doing is just you're just giving people what they want. And that's what makes businesses so successful. I'm sure all of you have seen this in every other business well outside of the App Store. Now, here's a quick bonus strategy. This is something that's worked really well for me. It's worked really well for some of our students. And I think it's just a really cool, fun thing that you can do that could potentially help you have a big home run. And that's to watch for viral trends and to capitalize on them, right? I've done this multiple times where I would time it where there would be some event or some big thing going on in the media world or in the pop culture world or whatever, where there's a ton of search volume, there's a ton of buzz on social media around a particular topic. Now, back in 2013, I knew that the Super Bowl was going to be huge, and Adrian Peterson I knew was going to be in the playoffs right before Super Bowl, and so I timed it, and then it was on the Super Bowl. They did this big feature about him as a commentator, and there was huge search volume for his name on Google, and that translated into huge search volume on the App Store as well. And this translated into many people doing this. I mean, in 2016, we saw this happen time and time again. Many of you have probably seen apps all about politics, right? There was Trump Dump. There was plenty of other ones about different politicians. There was one about Damn Daniel, which was this, viral video that happened about this guy's shoes on Instagram and on Vine and on YouTube. And you could see when they launched their app, it went to #1 completely virally. And then later on, you can see in October, bottle flip, when that was a viral video. And this is only 3 examples. I mean, there are dozens, and you can go through the App Store any particular day, look on the top free charts, and you will see random apps like this that have to do with some viral video that's going around in the Instagram world, the YouTube world, the Musical.ly world, whatever, and they get these massive spikes. And there's a strategy behind this. And, it's something you can bake into your marketing. So what you do is you just go to Google Trends, or google.com/trends, and you can see what's trending by day, by week, all that. You can also do this on YouTube if you want. And then you start to arbitrage it, where you see the trends happening, and then typically it takes about 2 or 3 weeks before that trend to trickle over into the App Store. Every single time, it doesn't happen immediately on the App Store. There's a time gap. So as soon as you see a trend happening on Google or on YouTube, or even on Facebook, on Instagram, you can go and build an app using the template and get one whipped up really quickly and launch it in the App Store. And this is one of those things is a little bit higher risk, but if you get it right, it could be huge. It could make up for all the apps for the year. And I've done this before. Many of our students have done this before, and it can work really well. Now, finally, the 5th step, which I would say is probably the most important step to all this, is taking action. We just learned so much about this this really turnkey formula about how to choose the right business model, how to get your app idea without racking your brain about it all the time, how to get developers without knowing anything about the code, and how to get free downloads by focusing on users, because that's what converts to dollars. The next step after taking these notes, after learning this, is really taking action, because this is a very powerful formula if it's applied. And it's led to really explosive results for me and for my business. I mean, this is just a couple screenshots of a few apps that I've had. And you can see when I started to apply this, like really sit down and say, I need to think about this formula as it relates to my business. This is one app, and you can see what happens when I started to use this formula. And similarly with one of my other companies, or one of the app companies, you can see that we got almost $9.5 million just on that one app company that made $281,000 just on paid downloads. That's not even ad network revenue, right? So this stuff really has worked for me, and it continues to work for me, which we'll talk about in a second. It's also worked for the students, and over the years, our students have achieved massive success with this formula. You've probably seen a couple of these blog posts that I've written over the years, right? Like Tasnim is a great guy. He didn't have a job, and he started making over $100,000 with apps. We've got young 15-year-old developers that are getting apps in the store, starting to make passive income. And recently, like in late 2016, I had a great interview with a student who bought the templates. I did one coaching call with him, and in a matter of 6 months, he started making $50,000 a month using the many parts of this app formula. And you can listen to that podcast episode with Anthony. It's very clear that he's using all the same stuff we are. And this is just a quick screenshot. I always think it's great to see live kind of walkthroughs. This is of the Thai entrepreneur that sent this to me. And I just want to make sure that you guys see how legit this is. This is this is him just opening up his account and showing like this is the real deal, right? He's making $194,000 a month. That's gone up considerably since early 2016. And even better, we're watching these success stories unfold each day. It's one thing to see them at the end, but what's the progress? How do they start with, oh, I'm just at the beginning. I'm just getting started. I'm not really sure what to do. I'm overwhelmed. How do you follow that story? And we've had some really cool parts, people in our community sharing these stories. Like Luca is a great example, right? He started making apps about a year ago, and it didn't all go well. Some, despite much effort and success, have failed to become successful as I expected. He discovered Bluecloud only a few weeks ago, followed the material, and managed to have an app feature in the App Store in two game categories. This is just the beginning, right? This was in June. Now you can see in August, he started posting into the community group. He said, hey everyone, today my app, Holiday Solitaire, has been featured by Apple in the Italian store, a card and casino games category. I use a template provided with my subscription to Bluecloud. And then you see him later in August. Today, my game is in the top charts. And then you see him in November. Hey, everybody, today my app is Icy Puck, made with BuildBox, is featured in Apple in the arcade and board categories, another small victory. And you start to see these people who just started from, they're like either struggling entrepreneurs or they're just getting started, and they're starting to see results. Sean has never built an app before, and he's been keeping us in the loop. Things just keep getting better and better. After 2 months of waiting, my first app with the Tap to Shoot template, which is a Bluecloud template, has finally seen the light of day. Thank you so much for all the motivation, help, advice, and late nights. And then he got his first app, and it's finally been approved, and it couldn't have happened with better timing. Thank you so much for your support and guidance. It means the world. He used this viral trend strategy along with the entire App Formula program to make this happen. And you can see 3 days later, you guys first dollar ever made online, got to swing the bat, got a man on base, the small wins. And then 10 days later, so apparently my Trump Toss app has been featured for action and family in Italy. Not really sure how family oriented is it, but I'm happy to say my family spends their time. Happy Thanksgiving indeed. I'm forever grateful for those in this group who have helped me with the advice along the journey. This is just the beginning. Much love to the Bluecloud Select family. So you start to see, I mean, these guys they just follow the process and they see this result, and you can see how this momentum starts to carry in. And you start to see guys also posting, hey, I got 1 million downloads, and that's where the party begins. My photo editor app just crossed 1 million downloads on Google Play in 9 months. I completed my App Formula course, and for my first iOS app is in progress. I learned a lot from Bluecloud, and I'm making progress. Special thanks to the Bluecloud community, Carter Thomas, Mark Nagelman, and now I'm a full-time app entrepreneur, right? Check it out. My MileBug app is sitting number 1 in finance today. So keep at it, everyone. You can do it. I'm 16 times featured on the main page and 16 times on there. Thanks to Bluecloud Solutions, other members for posting. Now, not only are these success stories, this is all late 2016. This is very recent and relevant. These guys took this stuff we talk about and they just took action with it, and they're getting results. So if you're just getting started and you're wondering, is this going to work? Do I have a shot? Realize that you have plenty of other people that are in your exact same position, do not know how to code, and they were able to get in the App Store and starting to see these successes. Now, the kicker is it doesn't just stop there, right? So Thang wrote in, our first game, I'm so happy that I can earn money from our app reskin. The game has 1,000 downloads daily and $50 in revenue. It's not much, but it's a nice start. Next step is to publish the game to the App Store. I believe it'll be better on iOS. I would like to thank Carter, and great Facebook tutorial, so useful. So people start to make money now. And then you get, Evan wrote in, I love a mini testimonial. I like to give the Bluecloud Select community, released our own emoji app based on the template advice from the Bluecloud Formula program. It's all about, we took the lessons learned from the Bluecloud content, blog, videos, and podcasts, as well as insights I relieved from Bluecloud event, and we went to watching our audience. I'm most excited the fact that we are currently ranked 37th in the U.S. App Store for utilities. It's a paid app, and we're beating Simone Styles' emoji app. She's an Olympic gold medal hopeful. All right. And then finally, if you really want to scale it up, it's totally possible. Kwong has wrote, after thousands of hours of work, thousands of hours of labor work, it finally works. And check this out. That's 5 days, and he made $7,000, right? He started right where everybody else did. He just worked at it. He followed the formula. He made it happen, right? Look at that. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, this is November 6, 2016. And then you can also scale it up to guys like John Mayhew, great guy, lives in San Francisco, came by the office, and he said, I've always been interested in business after creating passive income. After learning about templates and how Bluecloud builds apps, I decided to try myself. Next thing you know, I've made over $1 million and I have a profitable business. Wow, did it work? And then you go even further than that. David, active member of our community, he came to both events. He spoke at both events with us. You can see us all hanging out, the whole Bluecloud crew there. His game, Color Switch, has over $100 million. It was one of the top games in Bluecloud in 2016. I'm showing you this to show that this formula works. Not only does it works now. Right? This is recent. This is all stuff that's recently happened. And we spend a long time perfecting it. We consistently update it. And now it's time to release it to the next round of hungry students. We're ready to bring in the next crew of people, and we hope that's going to be you. Okay? So this app business formula will give you all the tools and information you need to have repeatable success in the App Store. And I'm going to walk you through it just so you can see exactly what you're going to get. Now, in the first module, you're going to get your login information. You're going to log in, and you're going to see the first module, which is an introduction. And I'm going to walk you through exactly what you're going to learn. So if you have no idea where to start, if you're just getting going, you're going to learn a full layout. I'm going to show you how it's broken down. I'm going to show you how to get the most out of this, out of the program. I'm going to give you a little background on myself because I think it's really important to understand a little bit more about where I'm coming from and what strengths I have, what weaknesses I have, so that you can compare yours and modify accordingly. And finally, I'm going to give you a complete course outline so that you know where everything's laid out. You understand how to get the most out of it, how to download the materials, how to do the action items, and everything like that. Now in Module 2, we start to really get into the App Store. And I talk about the fundamentals of the App Store and how it works, because I think it's important to understand what business you're getting into so that you can make all the right decisions about things like how to cater to users. We talk about how do you choose a business, right? What sort of templates do you choose? How do you make sure that you choose the right business? And I show you a lot of examples of app success because I think starting off, it's important to see what apps have worked for other people so that you can start to frame it in your mind. Okay, these are good apps to start with. This is a good place to start. You don't just go and say, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed. What category do I start with? We show you a lot of clear examples that you can use that are successful. Then in Module 3, that's when you get a developer account. So within the first 3 modules, this can all happen within the first day or two. You can be in the store. You can have a developer account. And what we're going to do is we're going to walk you through exactly what you need, how to get started, right? Like every single piece of the puzzle, and then we talk about the resources we use, all the things that we use to communicate with developers, the tools we use, the websites we use, the software we use. It's all free that you can just go and download it and put it on your computer, the communication tools. And then we show you how to set up the developer account. I open up Apple and I open up Google Play and I show you, hey, if I was getting started and I needed a developer account, this is the steps I would do. And just follow along with me in real time. Just pause the video, do it yourself, unpause the video, watch, do it yourself. And in a matter of minutes, you can have your app developer account up and running, okay? By the end of Module 3, you will have a developer account and you'll be ready to go. That can happen very quickly. Now in Module 4, that's when we start to get into the market research. This is when we start to look at, all right, what are some of these winning app ideas? How do we go and find these winning app ideas? How do we find a niche, right? How do we go and find those specific gym users, right? Or the gyms of the Midwest who do like archery? How do we find those niche markets? And there's a lot of different ways to do that we'll talk about. How do we go into the App Store and do research in the App Store? How do we go and look at the charts? How do we look through the categories? What do we look for? What's the most important? I'm going to show you everything so that you can just every day or every week, you can get this awesome information just fed to you. It shows you all the opportunities. And finally, we're going to show you how to go through the reviews in depth, right? Similar to what I talked about earlier, but I'm going to do a really good step-by-step example so that you can follow along with some spreadsheets and be able to do it yourself. In Module 5, we start to get into the app templates, right? You can see how this is following the 4-step system. This is the formula where we talk all about what the app templates are. So if you know nothing about templates, nothing about coding, complete introduction for you. We'll show you what to look for. So if you're going to go buy a template, what do you need to know? What makes a really good template? What specifics do you need to be looking for? What checklist do you need? And then I'll do a walkthrough of Chupa Mobile, which is a place to go buy templates. Code Canyon, which is also a place to buy templates, and BuildBox, which is a game platform. My buddy Trey owns BuildBox. And that's just because I really believe in it, and it's a cool product you can check out. I'll walk through all of these and show you how I would select a template, how I've selected templates in the past that have worked, what questions to ask, things like that. Now, module 6, we get into the outsourcing and into the hiring. So we do a complete overview of what outsourcing is, what it's all about, how to be successful with it, how to get the most out of an outsourced team member, where to find a team, how to go on Upwork, what to do, specifically how much to pay, how much should your app cost. We go through all the budgets, and I show you how you can get apps created for anywhere from $20 up to $2,000 or $20,000 if you wanted to, but I give you really clear benchmarks on budgets. And really, for your first app, you shouldn't be spending more than $100 on your app, and that's all in. That's with design and development with the template. So it's very easy to do. I show you how to get that done very inexpensively. I go into Upwork and I do a complete example, step-by-step screencast. You can watch me do it so that you can copy everything I do. And then I talk about milestones and delivery. How do you make sure that you get your code? How do you get them? How do you protect your idea with an NDA? Should you use an NDA? I walk through everything. I answer everything. You can follow along so that you get the exact same instruction as I had for getting some of my biggest apps made. Now, module 7, that's when we get into the App Store. This is when it starts to get really exciting, where we walk through what's called iTunes Connect, which is the app interface. It's the platform that you're going to upload your apps to. We talk about icons. We talk about screenshots. How do you create awesome icons and great screenshots? What's the formula for creating a great title? What is the ideal keyword layout? What keywords should we use? How should we write a description? This is where we have a copy-paste template for your description. I show you how to set up a free Facebook page as a default website for you, and to create a support channel for your users. And then I also show you all the resources and all the sites you can use that we use to get these things set up, right? How do you get your screenshots made? How do you get your icons made? How do you find the designers? All that. We show you everything that we use that you can roll into that. In module 8, we get into the marketing and the download accelerators, right? This is similar to what we talked about in step 4 of the system, where it's all about getting users. It's all about thinking about your users. How do you get in front of the right people and give them the right message? So we talk a lot about that in Marketing 101. We just give you an overview of what your marketing should be all about, what it should look like. We get into having a marketing checklist so that you can go through and you can check off the box and make sure that you're doing everything needed to get the downloads that are required. We talk a lot about App Store optimization, which is similar to what we talked about in step 4, which is finding the users, getting the keywords, and then also making sure that your App Store design page, your iTunes page, is very compelling to get people to download. I talk about partnerships. I show you exact partnerships I've had in the past with big sponsors, with companies that are willing to help me out, and I help them out with getting massive downloads, massive amounts of money. They promote my app and we'll split revenues or whatever it may be. And then I also want to talk about App Annie, which is a terrific resource for monitoring all your data, learning about competitors, and being able to see what's working and what's not working so that you can get better marketing from data-driven decisions. And finally, in Module 9, this is when we talk about making money and getting that passive income, creating the digital assets, getting the return on the investment that you have put in so far. Talk all about monetization in the app business. We talk about pricing. Should you make it paid? Should you make it free? How should you change that? What should you price it at? We talk all about that. We get into freemium apps, which is when you have a free app, but they have in-app purchases, which means you can purchase things inside your app. All about how to have the best possible freemium setup to make the most dollars. Advertisements, where to put advertisements, what ad networks to use, what types of advertisements to show. We talk about sponsorships. So if you wanted to get a brand to come in and sponsor your app, I mean, I have a company to do that for me, and they paid me over $35,000 to sponsor my app, which was a huge improvement over the current monetization I was using. So I'll show you how to do all that sort of thing. And then finally, B2B, which is business to business, which is a very interesting and hot model right now, where you go to other businesses or you go to influencers and you say, hey, I can make you an app. I can make you a small social media app for your law office, or hey, I can make you an emoji app for your huge Instagram following, or all these service-based ways to use this, and a lot of people have had some huge success doing that. I'll show you everything you need to know about B2B. Now, these step-by-step videos, these 9 modules, the 45 lessons that are in there, are a complete formula required to achieve success in the App Store. If you just watched these videos and did the action steps we talk about in the videos, that would get you into the App Store. That would give you the information and the education needed to be successful. But we wanted to add more. We really want to guarantee that you guys are successful. So we added what's called the classified collection. Right? It's 35 checklists and scripts and worksheets that are all designed for results. So every time, on every module, you will see downloads available for each lesson that will reinforce what you just learned. So it'll show you, hey, here's what to do next. Fill this out. Make sure you do these exercises, and you will dramatically improve your chances of success. They're all organized, and they're in the exact places you need them. So under each lesson, you will see a download area where you can just click it, download it, and then follow along in the video and fill it out at the same time. It's really easy to do. And that's when you get the step-by-step videos along with the action item worksheets together. This is when it starts to get really powerful because your brain starts to internalize this. You start to see it working. You start to see yourself taking action, and you build these amazingly profitable habits. Right? You also get ongoing feedback. We have a lot of people in the community that you can leave a comment. People will be able to answer it for you. You can ask us any questions you want. We'll answer them for you. It's just always... There's always a constant feedback loop where you can connect with other people, ask questions, things like that. The other piece of the community is every week. Okay, I do this every single week. I've only missed 1 week because the internet basically just fell apart. But I will do a live weekly coaching call with you. All right, so you log into the webinar. You can email in, and I will get on a video chat. And you log in, and all the formula members get there with you. You can chat with them, and then you ask questions. So every single week, you have a coach that is sitting there answering questions for you. And the kicker is you can email the questions in during the week, right? So if you're in a time zone where it doesn't work for you that particular week, you can email in questions, and I will answer all of them live. You can watch the recording later on, or you can come in and you can chat. You can ask me questions in real time, where I will sit there for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes. And on video, I will just answer every question. So you have every week, all the questions you have are gone. You have answers to everything from a personal coach. You get this. And this is every single week. Okay. Every week you get a coach for an hour to answer anything you want, which is huge. And everything that we built around this formula and around the way we structured this was with one goal in mind. It's to give people like you a place to start that leads to results. Having weekly coaching calls is not something you see in most programs because it's a lot of work for the instructor, but we committed to getting you results. We committed to helping people get started and to take action. And if that's what it takes, that's what we do. That's why every week I will be there live to help you. All right. So a quick recap. The Bluecloud formula there's no coding required. Okay, it's all step-by-step video and downloadable instructions, and it's all copy and paste scripts, right? Everything is just follow the system. Just follow the action steps. Just do it, and you will start to see the results. You'll see the progress. And the kicker, in my opinion, is that you can complete this course in less than a month if you just spend 30 minutes, maybe 60 minutes a day on it. So as long as you're consistent and just block out some time in your calendar and say, hey, look, for 30 minutes, I'm going to watch 2 or 3 videos from Carter. I'm going to do the action items. I'm going to follow through on this. You can complete this entire formula in 30 days. You can complete a lot faster than that if you really want to get ambitious. But at the bare minimum, this will not take you more than 30 days to get through and to get an app in the store. Now, the alternative is that you could hire me to teach you everything. And believe it or not, people ask me this all the time. They say, hey, Carter, listen, I don't really want to go through this course. Can you just teach me? Can you just coach me or whatever? Can I just hire you? And I'm always like, okay, well, let me just break this down for you. I would use the same information as it's in the formula, and it'd be about 20 hours of my time, right? With all the Q&A and Skype calls and everything, it'd be about 20 hours to go through all these videos and for me to teach it back to somebody. And then on top of that, to go through all the classified collections sheets, the PDFs about 100 pages of information. That would be another 15 hours or so to be able to go through that with you and to make sure that you did it all. And then let's say we did 6 months of coaching, right? That's weekly, let's say 1 hour each week, 25 hours of coaching, when in reality, you're probably going to get more like 50 hours of coaching, but let's just do 6 months just to be conservative here. That's about 50 hours of my time to coach somebody. And you go on my consulting site, which is clarity.fm. I mean, you can see this. This is publicly available information. I charge $1,000 an hour. All right? And people pay this. I mean, this is a screenshot from Infusionsoft. I mean, plenty of people pay this. I do have a coaching program where people pay, over 5 figures a year for me to coach them every month. And if I was going to coach this entire course, it'd be about $50,000. And that's just the numbers. I mean, that's what it would cost, and that's what I would charge someone because it would be so much of my time. Now, you're not going to spend $50,000 today. You're not even going to spend close to $50,000 today. But it's important to know that if you do want to hire me, my email address is carter@bluecloudsolutions.com. But realistically, it's just there's no. I packaged this. I created this product so that you didn't have to hire me. This level of information is no longer just held for the rich, right? It's held for the people that have a lot of money that just want to make more money. And we also wanted to really guarantee success and reward people that took this webinar and stayed around for the workshop. So we're going to give away a few more exclusive. The first big bonus is the templates. You get access to every Bluecloud template for life. So anytime we add a new template, anytime we update a template, anything, you get access to that. All right. And we also included the big emoji template in there, right? So if you go through this, you can see there's an awesome Keno app, one of the most successful casino games we ever made at Bluecloud. Tap to Shoot, which is one of the easiest apps to get started with. If you just sort of like, hey, I don't know anything about coding, I just want to get in the store, you can put this in the store, and we see people making money off of this. I mean, this app made us plenty of money, and a lot of people are just getting started. It's only a handful of graphics, so you can get it in the store and you can start to see some results very quickly. We also have that solitaire app. You saw Luca earlier. He got this app featured in the App Store within a couple of weeks of taking the app formula and getting the app into the App Store. So this is a powerful casino game. We also have a Tiger Stickers app, which we've seen people get this app. We work with influencers with this, right? You can just change out the tigers and you can have influencers put their own custom stickers in there. Card Creator, this is the Heads Up app, right? We modeled this off of the Heads Up app. So it's a great multiplayer game. It's an amazing viral game. We also have the Monogram Maker, which is another really good niche stickers app. We have Gemdot. So if you like that Candy Crush Saga style app, we have one of the best match 3 templates you could ever imagine. And we have the Countries and Flags. This is a trivia game where if you have a lot of content, let's say you have a website, or let's say you have a lot of images or something where it's kind of like a memory game, all you do is just put it into this app, change the design up, and you've got your brand new trivia memory game that people can use about any topic out there. And finally, we have a really powerful bingo casino app. It's one of the best niche markets within casino, really amazing demographics. And Bridge Boss, which is another, and Bridge Boss, which is not, and Bridge Boss, which is just another really good intro starter app. It's super easy to get started with, and you can get it in the store very quickly. Now, the second bonus is that you're going to get lifetime access to our Bluecloud community. This is a private Facebook group, and this is not just, oh, hey, come join our Facebook group, and you walk in there and it's crickets, right? Like there's nobody there. This is extremely active. We have 20, 30, 40 posts every day of people not only asking questions, but of people helping each other. You can see we get 20, 30 comments. Anytime someone says, hey, can I get some feedback on this? Or, hey, do you want to exchange reviews? Or, hey, what ad network is working right now? You will get a huge amount of responses and help on anything. I will do Facebook Lives in there all the time just to say, hey, does anybody have any questions you want to ask me? I'm always available. I answer questions every single day in there. So if you want to just ping me about anything, we can. You also get to see really great kind of insights that people have. Like, hey, I was trying this and this is what worked, or this is what didn't work, or this ad network is doing really well. It's also just an amazing community of people. I think that That's really important to say. Chris says, I would like to thank each and every one of you. Being in this group has meant more to me than I can explain. I would never have made it without you all, and I would have given up. That's a simple fact. But because of you and the process of building more words to a new game, I reach success. I owe it all to this group, right? And Hugo posting pictures. This is like a bunch of us in San Francisco getting together, have some beers. We have an amazing community of people. It's growing very quickly, and that's hard to find in this day and age, in my opinion. It's you don't see that often. You don't see people dedicated to success. You don't see people dedicated to helping each other. That's what this offers. Now, the third bonus is what I call a repeatable, modelable case study. Like I said, it's really important to see examples. And so I show you the four of the most successful projects I've had that are highly repeatable. So I go through the Gangnam Style, which is that viral trend. I show you exactly how I did it, how I timed it, made $130,000 in a matter of a week and a half or 2 weeks or so. The bar skills, that's how Bacardi paid me $35,000 to sponsor my app. Kingdom Coins, which is a casino game, I show you how exactly I took that game and repurposed it, worked with publishers, got it on Android, got it on multiple markets, all that sort of thing. And Get Likes, which is about finding a problem that people had, really taking action on it and creating a strategy. So I show you everything about this, and I show you a lot that you can learn from these business models. And the fourth bonus is the business accelerator. Right? We always focus on business. We focus on the money side. We focus on the ROI. And it's all about setting goals, how to set goals correctly. How do you make sure that you don't procrastinate, right? If you procrastinate, you got to watch this time management bonus module. It's very important. I show you the exact process I use to never procrastinate anymore. I do a 45-minute whole thing on operating procedures. How do you automate your business? How do you allow your business to maintain and grow when you are on vacation or when you don't feel like working that day? How do you make sure that your business keeps running? I show you exactly how to create operating procedures, and I show you how to do it for your app business. I talk about things like physical health, how to take care of yourself so that you feel good every single day. And then I talk all about the tools that I use to really empower my business. And finally, the fifth bonus is the emoji app template. This is a big one. This has been one of the most successful apps for our students. We've had a lot of success with it. I found this app on a marketplace. I spent $3,000 cash just to get this app for myself. And you're going to get it. You're going to get it rolled into this program. This is part of the whole deal. You get your own emoji app template to start with. And if you haven't seen it, this is the top paid iPhone app in the entertainment category. I believe this is December 2016. You can see. I mean, it's like 8 of the top 20 paid apps are all emoji templates, right? Or all emoji apps. They use emojis and sticker templates. So this stuff is extremely hot. It has been for a while. It will continue to be for another year, I'm sure. And now you have it. And remember, we have a team that can do everything for you. You can just send them this template, say, hey, here's what I want. And here's the kicker. We use them. We actually use them in October of 2016 using this template to create 2 apps. Like this is using that Fitoji emoji template. And it's already made $2,700 for us. It cost us $420 or $450 to get this apps done, and we made $2,700. So I mean, this template works. We have the team. It's completely turnkey. All you gotta do is email them and say, hey, just use this template, and it's worked really, really well for us, and it's working well for other people. So just a quick wrap up. We've got 45 lessons. We have all these different bonus modules and videos that you have. We have the classified collection. We have the weekly live Q&A and coaching available. We have all the templates. We have the emoji app template, the private Facebook group. You have access to our developer team. And like I said, if this was me training you, this would be right around $56,000 when you bake in the hard costs of the app templates. But today, you're not going to spend $56,000. This webinar pricing is $497, or 3 monthly payments of $197. That means each payment will come 30 days at a time for 3 months to add up to 3 total payments. So all you got to do is $497. You'll see the orange button come up on your right there. If you're on your mobile device, you can go to bluecloudformula.com and that'll take you to the checkout. But this is the price that you get. This is a huge discount. This is going to go up very quickly because we have sold so many of these, and it's time to really take it to the next level. But because you are on this webinar, that's the price available. Now, there's one more exclusive, and this has never been released before. You won't be able to find this anywhere on the website. You won't be able to find this anywhere other than on this webinar. Is all the live recordings from our San Francisco event in November of 2016. These are a gold mine of information. Now, the first one is one of my kind of keynote presentation, which breaks down the entire arbitrage case study I did for that emoji app. So I do step by step. I go all the way from how did I pick the right audience, all the way to how did I create, spend $1 on Facebook, make $1.50, and I do everything step by step, how I did it, all transparency, complete screenshots, every decision I made. And it shows you how to use Facebook ads to literally print money with apps. This is one thing that worked for me, and people got a lot out of this. And I'll show you something in a few minutes. It's really going to blow your mind. The second video is from Merch Bar. My buddy Ed in San Francisco is a company I'm invested in. He came and talked about how these guys have raised a lot of money for their app and how to explode their business. He talks a lot about how to focus on the right parts of your business, how to really grow something that's a big business, and how to manage a team and how they've been able to do it and have so much success. The third video is all about creating systems. This was one of the most requested recordings people had to watch because I talk all about creating systems. This is similar to the operating procedures, but this is applicable to everything, right? It talks about the exact system I use and how you can use this to get very powerful automation in your business. And it shows how I've been doing this to create a couple new companies, app and website companies. They're going to make over 6 figures next year. I don't do anything. So I talk all about how to do this and how to scale your business, even if you're just getting started, and how to get started with the systems mentality. The fourth event recording you're going to get is Matt Clark, my buddy from Amazing.com. Many of you may know him. He's built 3 multi-million-dollar companies before the age of 25. You're going to see an in-depth look at his latest app project, about what worked when he spent $500,000 on it, what didn't work, and how he's really pivoting his whole company, very, very massive company, into the mobile world, and what you can do to kind of dovetail on what he's talking about. You can learn a lot from him about the business model side. If you have any ambitions of being a millionaire, he is one of the greatest guys to learn from. It's an incredible presentation. I would highly recommend it. The fifth is Manol did a awesome presentation on how to do Facebook ads. So if you have no idea about Facebook advertisements, but you're interested in it, if you're interested in creating new marketing strategies, this is one of the best Facebook install ad seminars you'll see. And he actually pulls up Facebook Live, goes through audience insights, and shows you how to find different audiences, how to get the best targeting, everything like that. And he has driven over millions of dollars worth of media spends, gotten millions of downloads. And when you watch this, you learn how to get unlimited downloads for your app. And that's the coolest thing is after this presentation, which is not on the video, is he sat down with a few people. Everybody crowded around him at the table, and he opened up somebody's ad account, changed a few things. The person came back an hour and a half later and said, "Oh my gosh, I went from spending $5 per install down to 80 cents just by doing what you taught in that presentation." So the stuff works. You can get a huge marketing education just by this. 6, I talk all about creating those customer avatars and why that's so important. And I go through the entire process of how do you find these customers, why it's so important to have different customers for your product, and how to be able to customize your product for them. It shows you how to get a huge audience for your app and how to do that market research. So if you've never done this stuff, this will be a really powerful lesson for you. And finally, David, who did the Color Switch app, he's over 100, I think it's 110 million downloads now. David goes through this entire creative process. It shows you how to think outside of the box. How do you create an amazing product that goes wicked viral, that goes absolutely crazy? And he also talks about how to get published. So if you're ever interested in how to get published, he talks a lot about that and how to create a product that can get published. So these event recordings are massively valuable. And one thing I would say is Manol posted this in the Facebook group in December, right? You can look in the charts for this. He took Look at what he says. I'm number 2 in the paid 7-day-old app. Facebook paid installs only, no ASO for my app Hitmojis. I started as a small task after Carter's dog app, which is the presentation I gave here, which you have access to. And it turned out to be a really good test, right? He took the presentation, this exact presentation you're getting. He applied his Facebook knowledge, which you get from the recording. And he went to number 2 in the entertainment category for a paid app in a matter of 7 days, right? That's amazing. You get access to all this. And the kicker is you also have the template that you can just send over to Toad. And so as you can see, we've had some huge success so far with the Bluecloud App Formula. We have an amazing community of people. This is us in San Francisco. And beginners like you are getting apps in the App Store, right? Like they're just getting apps going. They're getting the downloads. Some of them are getting massive downloads. And they're starting to see recurring income, right? Everybody, people who are just getting started, this is what they're starting to see. And here's how you get started. Click on the orange button to your right. If you're on your mobile device, go to bluecloudformula.com right now and check out. You'll see a checkout page just like the one you see on the left. We will send you a login email with your login information as soon as you're done checking out. And then you can log in and you will start looking at the lesson. You will start to see the videos. You will get everything delivered to you right there. This is how you get started. This is how you start taking action right now and get everything dropped into you. Now, many people still will say, all right, this sounds great, Carter, but what if I go through the course, get an app in the store, follow the marketing advice, but still don't get downloads? This was something that Matt actually had some really good advice. He said, you should make it so that people are guaranteed to get results, not just a great product, like they actually get results. And I thought that was really powerful. And so what we're starting to do now is what I call the 1,000 download guarantee. So even if you have no idea where to start with apps and you have zero risk to give this app formula a try. Because not only are we giving you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so anytime in 60 days, if you decide that this isn't for you or you don't have time for this or whatever, just let us know and we'll give you your money back. We're also going to give you our vote of confidence that you'll get 1,000 downloads in the first 60 days of taking this course, even if you have no idea where to start or have never done anything remotely technical. Before that 60-day refund period ends, just let us know you want to take us up on this 1,000 download guarantee, and we will schedule a live in-person call and go through your app business with you, and you will get immediate answers to help you get over that 1,000 download mark. Okay, if like on day 55, if you still haven't gotten 1,000 downloads, you've done everything, you're just not sure what's going on, just ask us and we will give you a free call. We'll get on the phone with you and go through everything you're doing and help you get over that 1,000 download mark. And even with that, if you have any reservations whatsoever, even after that call, if you're like, I still don't know, just ask for us. Just ask for a refund. Because honestly, if at that point you are not foot on the gas ready to do it, it's probably better that you go and try something else or go back to your job or whatever it may be, because we want people that are ready to take action. We are willing to help them. We are ready to go the extra mile for them. But we do know that things come up in life and we will still refund your money no matter what. So you have 60 days and you get 1,000 download guarantee for us to help you out. But the kicker is you have to act quickly. Okay, it's not just going to happen for you, right? It's not just going to magically appear. You got to get the app in the store, and you got to start following the strategy. You got to start following the formula, taking action on this so that you can make some stuff happen within that 60 days to get those 1,000 downloads. Now, depending on the enrollment, like I said earlier, this offer will change, right? Probably the price is going to go up. All right, like I said before, depending on the enrollment numbers, this offer is going to change. Okay, that means that the price will most likely be going up relatively soon because there's a lot of people that want to get into this course, and so we gotta manage expectations. I can't be coaching thousands of people at once. So this price and this offer, all these bonuses are available right now. If you're interested in this, click on the orange button on the right, or go to bluecloudformula.com to check out. It will take you to the checkout page. Put in your information there. Pick the payment plan, which is 30 days at a time, or pay in full to save a little bit of money. You will get the login information emailed to you, and then you'll be in the course. You'll be able to start taking action, and then I would encourage you to join us on the webinar every Friday. So no matter when you're watching this video, join us on the webinar that week. It will make a huge difference. and you'll be able to get all your questions answered. We'll be able to help you out with everything. Okay? So I would encourage you also, just take the first step. I mean, I told you a little bit about my past, my story. I spent so long just resisting joining a community. I resisted making myself accountable. I resisted all these things because I was terrified of what would happen. And I never really believed in myself that I could really do it. And then I look forward 4 years later. I've traveled to 35 countries. I run my business from anywhere I want. We have a huge community of amazing people that fly in from all over the world. This is Hawaii, San Francisco, Amsterdam. That's my brother and I down in the Caribbean. We're at a big, huge house in Austin, Texas. I mean, my life has completely changed, and it's all because at least I just took a step. I just tried it. And if nothing else, I would just encourage you to just give it a shot. There is a huge community of people that are waiting for you. We are all here to help you succeed. We all want you to succeed. So make it happen. Join our crew. We've got something really special going on here. And I would just really encourage you to join it with us. So secure your spot. Click on the orange button on the right, or go to bluecloudformula.com and check it out. And check out the on the checkout page. We'll email you the questions. If you have any questions at all, you can email us at formula@bluecloudsolutions.com, and we will get back to you. Okay? Okay, now I know we've got a bunch of questions, and this is going to be an FAQ for obvious reasons, and these are the questions that have come in most often. And again, if you have any specific questions, feel free to email formula@bluecloudsolutions.com. And also know that there's a huge 60-day guarantee on this no matter what. So even if you purchase, you are fully guaranteed. Now, let's just dive in. So a question from Manuel is, what if you already have your app idea and it's so good that you fear the developer might steal your idea? Great question. This happens a lot of people wondering, should I sign an NDA? What will happen if my developer takes my idea or goes into the App Store and really just screws me? And what I would tell you, Manuel, and anyone out there, is that the chances of that happening, one, are very low. So it's really not something you need to worry about. The second thing is that often having a great relationship with your developer makes it so that you don't need to worry about things like them stealing your ideas. And that's what I talk a lot about in Module 6 when you're hiring developers, is how to build relationships with them so that you never have to worry about anybody stealing your idea. Now, you can do an NDA. We have a template that you can easily use and copy and paste it. It's just one of those things where it's really not going to help you a lot. If they're 8,000 miles away and something happens, it's very difficult to enforce that. So it's much better to build a good relationship. And I could tell you that I would say 99.9% of the people that have taken Bluecloud Formula and have built a relationship with a developer have never had anything bad like this happen. And so it just goes to show that building a relationship, which we teach you how to do, is the ultimate way to protect your idea. So that's that. Dolly asks, can I buy this in 2 months once I get money and get paid? Dolly, it could be around. I think we'll probably have this open for a while. But the thing is, the price will most likely be going up relatively soon. So while, you can. I can't promise that you'll be able to get this price. I would imagine it's going to be close to double by the time we do post it again. So it's really up to you. This offer is what it is, and I would encourage you to jump in now as fast as possible. Carrie asks, can I publish an app to the Play Store? You talked a lot about Apple. What about Google? Absolutely. So the thing about Apple and Google and any app store really is that it's virtually the same for everything, for all the way. The only thing that's really different is the iTunes Connect, which is where you publish your apps, where you house your apps, versus Google Play. They have a developer console. But even there, it's almost everything is the same. The only thing that's different is what I talked about with that keyword field being different and how long your title can be. So really it's all the same stuff, and you can absolutely publish to both stores, and many of our templates are compatible with both Apple and with Google or Amazon or any store you want to be a part of. Sarthak asks, for a $197 payment, what would be the frequency? So those will be every 30 days. So you'll pay $197 today. In 30 days, you'll have one more payment. And then 30 days after that, you'll have final payment. And that's it. There's only 3 of them total. And then you're good to go. You'll have lifetime access to the course and to everything else. Steven asks, hi, Carter. I have a full-time job and work 40 hours a week. I also have a family. I can dedicate about 2 hours a day to apps. This is enough time to be successful. Great question, Stephen. And in fact, we have a lot of people in Bluecloud who are full-time parents and they have full-time jobs. They're just busy people. And what they've learned is that it's great because, one, you get a huge community of people to support you and keep you motivated and to get you answers to questions very quickly. And two, it's all about consistency. So this program, this whole education platform is built on this idea of consistency. And as long as you just commit to doing 30 minutes a day, you can get this done in under a month. So I think that even if you have a full-time job, even if you are a very, very busy person, just carving out that small block of time, but doing it consistently and being a part of our community with our group and our support system and sharing all our ideas and learning from all these people around you, you can definitely be successful. Dan asks, does this model scale? Can we get past $1 million? Well, that's a great question, Dan, and that's a good way to be thinking about it. The answer is yeah, right? One of the reasons why I wanted you to see that companies like King.com, who make Candy Crush Saga, they're using the same exact methods we are. They're just bigger. They have more people, they have more money, they have bigger budgets, and so they've gotten huge. And so the reason why this is just all about the business fundamentals and setting yourself up so that you can get as big as you want to get. So you can absolutely get past $1 million if you wanted to. It really comes down to how big of a business you want to be managing. Some people like the lifestyle business where you can work from anywhere, very low overhead, no stress. Some people like to make the $50 million business where they have really amazing teams and they can grow the thing like crazy and they make a ton of money. So it's really up to you and what suits your goals. Ellie asks, what other costs are involved with making an app? Really good question, Ellie. The first is that you got to have a developer account, right? So it's easy to get set up as a developer with the App Store. Well, on Apple, it's going to be about $99 a year. And for Google, I believe it's anywhere from $25 to $35. It depends on, they change it all the time, but somewhere in that range. So it's definitely not huge money to be a developer, but it's a small incremental costs. Like I said, you can get templates for anywhere from $0 to $50 to $5,000. So you can get those very, very inexpensively. And we have, 10 templates and you'll have access to all the new ones we give you. So that's that. And then when the developer costs, you can get developers to help you out for anywhere from $100 to $500. And that includes design, upload, graphics, everything. So I think all in, you could get an app into the App Store with zero work on your part for less than a couple $100. And if you wanted to save some money, you could learn how to do a little bit with the graphics, or you could upload it yourself or whatever you want, and you could save maybe $100 here and there. But it's only a few $100 to get the app in the store. It's really not expensive at all. You can get it bigger if you want and make bigger apps and start doing things like Facebook advertising. But to getting started, just to get an app in the store, it can be very inexpensive. Raj, what do I need to develop apps? Do I need a Mac if I want to develop apps on the Apple App Store? Yeah, you're going to need a Mac to develop apps if you want to put them on the Apple App Store. Now, you only really need that if you want to code it yourself. If you have developers doing all the work, you technically do not even need a computer. You could probably just have them do everything and you just test it all on your phone. But I wouldn't really recommend that. I would always encourage people, if they're going to be on the Apple Store, get a Mac so that you can test it. You can check things out yourself. If you're on the Google Play Store, you need either a Mac or a PC. It doesn't matter. It's very difficult to use a PC and to use the Apple App Store because you need to get all this virtual software. It doesn't really work that well, so I would encourage you to get a Mac. You can get a very inexpensive refurbished Mac for a couple $100 if you don't have one right now. Or if you do have a Mac, then you're good to go. Nicolette asks, how can I make sure that you will have the type of template I'm looking for? Well, we have 10, almost 11 templates in the program right now, which really should cover you, especially if you're just getting started, you just want to get something in the store. And if you ever want a specific app, you can just email us and we will keep an eye open for it. Like, I'm always out there trying to purchase new apps and roll them in, and we're always adding to our collection. So if there's anything in particular you want, you can ask us. The other great thing about having the Facebook group community is that there are tons of people that have templates or have access to templates that you can ask for. So you'll see people all the time saying, hey, does anyone have a YouTube music app? Or hey, does anyone have a SAT prep app or whatever? And people will say, oh yeah, I got one here. Let me talk to you, and you can do a deal with them. So we have a huge community of people to help you. Cal asks, what type of apps are most successful right now? Right now, 2017 apps are going to be the emoji stuff. Like the sticker emoji apps are really successful. The casino apps are doing really well. Anything with stickers. I would say anything that appeals to a big audience where they can, it's kind of funny, but it's just really entertaining. Those kind of apps are incredibly successful. We're seeing a lot of people doing really well with both those categories using our templates, but that's why we chose these templates, is because those are consistently the most successful apps in the App Store, and they're also the most customizable. So you can take them and you can apply them to, we've got people that are doing deals with huge influencers on Instagram, on YouTube. We have people that are partnering with massive newsletter lists, and they're using basic, simple apps, the apps in this formula. So I would say it's 50% about the apps and 50% about the marketing, which is everything we teach in the course. Eric says, I'm trying to get in the app business. Will having some coding experience help me to build the apps? Yeah, I think that having coding experience is always good if you want to get into the app business. I think that the key is making sure you don't get too deep into the app coding. I think one thing that happens to a lot of developers and coders when they want to start making money is that they stay in the apps too long, and they don't focus on the marketing. They don't focus on the business. They don't focus on the money side of it. And they're just really hung up on the details of the code. So you absolutely can get into the business, and you can save a ton of money if you know how to code, because you don't have to hire anybody. But you also got to commit to not spending too much time in the apps. Otherwise, it's kind of a black hole. Adil asks, how do I find a profitable niche? Well, that's big. Pretty much module 4. That's what we talk about the entire time. It's all about doing research. It's about going to Facebook Audience Insights and Google and BuzzSumo and all these different resources, which I walk through in depth to find really profitable niches, and going into the App Store itself and finding different niche markets and custom audiences. Ayan asks, hey Carter, what if I don't have a developer account? No problem at all. In module 3, I do a complete walkthrough and show you step by step. You just watch my screencast and copy everything I'm doing, and you'll have a developer account in a matter of hours. It's very easy to do and get set up. Javier says, how long will this offer be open for? Well, like I said before, this offer right now is $497 or the payment plan. That will change. I think it'll change sooner rather than later. We've been getting a lot of demand for this, and we're opening this up to a much bigger audience. So as it scales, we're going to probably push the price up, and we're going to put more templates in there, make it more valuable. So I can't give you a firm number or firm date line or timeline on that, but I will say that sooner rather than later. So I would encourage you to take action and make it happen. And remember, we have a 60-day guarantee. It's completely guaranteed, and we also guarantee that you're going to get 1,000 downloads in that time period, right? There's really no risk on your part. You gotta commit to doing it and to taking the course and to following through and making it all happen. And we will commit to helping you get to the next level through the coaching calls, having all the templates, through the community, through the course itself, everything. So it's risk-free. I mean, we tried to make this as risk-free and as guaranteed and as close to a home run as we possibly can. And that's what we're trying to do. So I would encourage anybody, if you're on the fence, just to take action to make it happen, because we're there for you. We're doing it. We're right there with you, and we're going to be there holding up our end of the bargain. And every week you can tune in live and ask any questions you want with your own personal app coach, and we'll help you make it happen. So Terrific. Again, you guys, if you have any questions, you can email us at formula@bluecloudsolutions.com. If you're ready to make this happen, go to bluecloudformula.com and go to the checkout page, check out, and then check your email for login information, and then start getting moving. Get into the Facebook group. We'll approve you once we see that you've enrolled in the course, and say hello, and we'll see you on the next coaching call, and we'll be able to really talk like one-on-one, which is pretty cool. Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much for sticking around. I really appreciate your time, and I hope this has been valuable for you one way or another. And I really hope that I see some familiar faces in the formula and on the coaching calls. All right, guys, this is Carter, and I'll see you soon.